Indian Air Force instructors are currently touching down at RAF Valley in Wales to help train Britain's next generation of fast-jet pilots. Half a century ago, the flow of expertise went strictly the other way. The Royal Air Force was the absolute baseline, providing the training model for Commonwealth militaries worldwide. In the 1930s, India relied entirely on British supervision to train its aviators. Today, Indian instructors are plugging a critical personnel shortage in the UK's own training pipeline. To understand how this dynamic completely inverted, you have to look past the modern hardware. The foundation of this shift rests on a single, mostly forgotten pilot, Trilok Nath Bhanot. In 1943, Bhanot stepped into the Indian Air Force's 16th pilot course. Navigating those early skies was an unforgiving physical test. Survival was largely a matter of arithmetic. 19 of Bhanot's direct coursemates perished in flying accidents before they could even face combat. As independence approached, the IAF realized it possessed a fatal structural flaw. They had combat-hardened veterans, but zero domestic infrastructure to safely teach new recruits how to fly. An Air Force that cannot train its own replacements has a firm expiration date. The attrition rates alone would eventually ground the entire fleet. Bhanot survived the war and proved his raw skill, earning a coveted spot in the elite IAF Display Flight in January 1946. He stood out among his peers for a specific psychological trait. He was an uncompromising, meticulous stickler for precision. India still lacked the means to build an instructional academy. In June 1946, the IAF sent Bhanot to the British Central Flying School to learn exactly how the British taught their pilots. He was sent to absorb the institutional blueprint and bring it back to Jodhpur. He was stealing fire for the Indian Air Force. By April 1948, the nucleus of the Indian Flying Instructor School took shape, with Bhanot installed as its chief architect. To quantify teaching ability, the IAF implemented the Qualified Flying Instructor System. At the base, Category C evaluated probationers. Above them sat B2 and B1, the foundational ranks. The summit graded the elite. A2 identified highly skilled instructors, while the peak, Category A1, demanded flawless ability. On August 17, 1948, Bhanot passed the rigorous evaluation to become the first Indian Air Force pilot to secure the A2 grading. By January 1949, that proven mastery elevated him to become the second commanding officer of the entire flying instructor school. In under 3 years, he had mapped the system, set the standard, and proven that Indian pilots could dominate its highest ranks. The independent instructional machine was fully operational. Three months later, on April 7, 1949, Bhanot took to the sky in a de Havilland Tiger Moth. The Tiger Moth was famous for its forgiving nature. With stall speeds as low as 30 miles per hour, it was the gentle mentor aircraft used to ease novices through their first basic maneuvers. Yet, during that flight, the master instructor entered a spin and failed to recover. The plane crashed directly into the ground. Trilok Nath Bhanot was killed instantly. He was 30 years old. For an independent Air Force still finding its footing, this was a devastating subtraction. They lost their chief architect mere months after he had poured the foundation of their training academy. His death leaves behind a massive historical hypothetical, best understood by looking at his direct peer, Jaspal Singh. Jaspal earned his A2 rating exactly 1 day after Bhanot. He would survive to become the IAF's first A1 rated instructor, and eventually an Air Vice Marshal. Bhanot was on that exact same trajectory. But the instructional nucleus Bhanot built endured. The Flying Instructors School scaled up over the following decades, creating a permanent, world-class pipeline of aviation teachers. Which brings us back to the skies over Wales. When Indian pilots step into British jets today to teach the next generation of Royal Air Force crews, they operate the machine Bhanot designed. The descendants of his academy are exporting his standard of perfection back to the very institution that first taught him.